hello, hi, how are you? My name is Jeff Holiday, and if you're watching this, obviously you're on my second channel where I just talk about whatever I want. This is also technically part of my 100 videos in 100 days challenge that I'm currently doing. And I'm really not necessarily pleased to be making this video, but I'm going to try and be very concise and quick and make sure I get as much of the information out there easily for people, because there seems to be a lot of confusion. The topic of this video is, what is Antifa? And this is largely because a lot of people seem to think that they have it in their minds that they understand what Antifa is, and they have no idea. There's a boogeyman that has been created and manufactured into booga booga booga. This is the evil paramilitary wing of the left. And that's, I guess, kind of true, but also kind of complete bullshit. Real quick, to get this out of the way, I have family members who were Proud Boys. I've had family members who were Black Bloc and in Occupy. I myself ran with some Occupy people about 2015. When I was growing up, I was about 16, 17-ish. I ran with a group of Sharps. So I have been... Me and my family have been somewhat involved in this off and on for a while. But I currently hold no membership to any side of any of this whatsoever. I do not believe in political violence. I think it is all bad, 100%, unequivocally. Political violence is not good. I do not support Antifa. I do not support the Proud Boys, Patriot Prayer, any of that. I don't believe in these things. But there's these really weird misconceptions people have about what Antifa is. And they think that it's an organization. Well, some of these arguments that it's an organization as well, they all come together and wear similar outfits, and they mobilize together in these cohesive groups. You could call it an organization with that if you also called, like, 80s night at the roller skating rink an organization. You set up a Facebook group and everybody shows up and everybody has a good time, or everybody bashes the fash. But as far as organization goes, no, not really. Not really at all. Only very, very specific instances in specific cities will you see anything resembling a command structure. And those usually get demolished rather quickly because, well, let's be honest here, the majority of Antifa are a bunch of college kids who will inevitably fall into disarray because one person fucked the other wrong person or was talking shit about the other person behind their back, and suddenly interpersonal drama will tear them apart. These are not massive masterminds of paramilitary action. These are fucking dumb kids. Sometimes they're street kids. Sometimes they're actual dyed-in-the-wool anarchists who want violence. Sometimes. But as far as an organization, no. Not in the same vein as something like Patriot Prayer or Proud Boys. These are groups that actually have dues. They have rituals in which you get brought into the group. They have rules by which you operate in or you are kicked out. They have, like, recognized leadership. Can you tell me a leader of Antifa right now? I could tell you the leader of Patriot Prayer. That's Joey Gibson. I could tell you who founded the Proud Boys. That's Gavin McInnes. By the way, a foreign national who doesn't live in America, is not an American citizen, coming over into an American city with armed men with rifles on each side of him as he holds up a sword and declares his intent to commit violence against American citizens. But I mean, let's just get mad about a bunch of kids in black pajamas running around having fights in the street. Now, again, I do not support violence. I don't support these kids running around acting like a bunch of assholes, a bunch of idiots. I don't support it, but at the same time, is it an organization? No. Okay, well, is there an argument to be made to label them terrorists? Sure, there's an argument to be made for that, but there's also a reason why you might not want to do that. One of the more recent rallies that happened was up in Portland. It was the one where Andy No got punched in the head and then managed to milk that for a lot of money. And he was going to sue Antifa. We'll never hear anything about that case again because you can't sue the organization Antifa. There is no Yeah, good luck on that one anyway, by the way, Andy. Also, again, violence is bad. Nobody should be hitting Andy, no, because he'll make a lot of money if you do. But on top of that, there were over 400 people there, all doing their protesting. Were all 400 people Antifa? Or was it just the 10 jackasses wearing masks? There were anywhere between 10 and 25 of the Patriot Prayer Proud Boy people that were there, and 400 people counter-protesting them, but only about 10 to 15 of them were masked up violent thugs. So which ones were the Antifa? Which ones are the terrorists? Can we say just the people who cover their faces, those are the terrorists? But what about all the rest of the people who call themselves anti-fascists? Aren't they terrorists now too, because that makes you comfortable to just call them all terrorists? You have to remember, we live in a Patriot Act world, where if the state has the ability to label you a terrorist, you don't get due process. You don't get your basic established constitutional rights. Are you comfortable with broadening more people to be labeled a terrorist, whether they've actually committed specific acts of terror or not, but just because they have membership in it? I knew a guy who he worked with a branch of the government in specifically national security. And he said something to me that was really important. He said, you cannot illegalize people being assholes. You can't illegalize racism. You can't illegalize bigotry. You can't illegalize fascism. You can't illegalize anti-fascism. You can only illegalize things that people do. Now, you can, again, make the case that there is terror being instilled by these people. Well, I gotta be honest with you, as somebody who does regularly go to Portland, I have never been beaten by Antifa, nor have I ever been inconvenienced by Antifa. And you're looking at somebody who has been on a list of suspected fascists. At one point, Antifa considered me to be a suspected fascist, which at the same time, in certain neo-Nazi groups, they were sending me threats in which they were going to come to my house and cut my kid's head off and rape my wife and then murder me. So the neo-Nazis are sending me this, and meanwhile the Antifa are putting me on lists. So I have a rather unique perspective on this, you might say. So with all of this, you get down to the basic question. Is Antifa a terrorist organization? That is the base question, and you might have an answer that's comfortable for you, but I would urge you to understand a couple of key factors. Number one is, are you comfortable with giving the government more power to take away the constitutional rights of somebody just because you don't like them and you don't like how they operate their political violence? Because I don't like it either, but are you comfortable with that? Are you cool with that? With giving the government more power to do that? And number two is, you have to ask yourself, why is it that Antifa even exists? Why are they protesting? And I'm going to use Portland as an example, because that's what everybody likes to talk about. Everybody likes to talk about Portland like they understand what Portland's like, even though most of you have probably never actually been there. I will tell you right now how many times there has been an Antifa protest in Portland in the past 5 years. 0. Hasn't happened. Nope. Hasn't happened. At all. But what about all those the footage that we see of them out in this? That's a counter-protest. That's a counter-protest because groups like Foreign National Gavin McInnes's Proud Boys decided to host a rally in Portland, and so Antifa showed up to counter-protest. Or Patriot Prayer, Joey Gibson, who, by the way, is being investigated by the fucking feds because it was leaked out that he was intending to go undercover as Antifa to try and hurt people, to smear them more. Go look it up. There's evidence out there. You can go find it right now on the internet. Go look at it. Actual legit news articles. Nobody pays attention to it. All anybody hears is Antifa is a terrorist organization. Now, does that justify all the stupid shit that people who are in Antifa all masked up and blacked up and everything do? No, of course not. Violence is wrong. Political violence is wrong. Don't do political violence. I don't support Antifa. I don't support the other side either, at all. There was one event in Portland that was an Antifa event. The owner of a bar called Cider Riot said, hey, local Antifa, if you'd like to, I'm going to throw a big party at my bar, and you all can come over in your Antifa gear, and you get discount drinks, and we're just going to have a fun time and chill out. It was a bar party, a private bar party thrown by somebody who owned the property. And then Patriot Prayer and Proud Boys and Andy No showed up outside of the bar. All of them standing shoulder to shoulder. You can go see video footage of it, waiting for the Antifa to come out and yelling at them and harassing them. But all you'll ever hear is that one lone journalist got pepper sprayed. Not what he was doing there, not why the whole thing happened, no context for it, just that. The truth is, this is all a mess. All of it is a mess. And most of the time, you're only going to hear one side by one specific type of people who are going to want you to have one specific take on it. I will never tell you that you should support Antifa. I'm not going to say that, because I don't think you should. I think all these people need to either grow the fuck up, or we need to throw all of them in a big fucking arena so we can all watch for entertainment. I don't support this kind of behavior at all. But if you have bought into the line that just broad range Antifa are terrorists and there's nothing more involved in it than that, you have been lied to. You have been manipulated. And you haven't been paying attention. And if you want to have a good opinion on this, by all means, you are allowed to have your opinion as much as you want, but I would at least urge you to know what you're talking about. Take care of yourselves. I hope you have a great day. Hope this didn't piss you off too bad. Bye-bye.